Hi, this is Jacqueline here with the Grow Program, and I want to thank you for tuning in. And I want to talk to you today about ancestral spirits. Now, I want to kind of give you a little background about Grow because you're probably new to it. Grow has been, we're on YouTube, and Grow means greatness reached over oppression through wisdom. And what Grow talks about is how to change our mindset and how we think about ourselves. And so I want to kind of get on into it, without further ado. And that way you can kind of catch on, as we going along here. You got to excuse the way I talk. I'm down to earth. This is the way I am. I'm not going to pretend to be something that I'm not. This is me. And my cousin laughs at me, and that's it is what it is. So I can't delve away and not be my true me. She said I'm country, so I may sound country to you or whatever, but I'm not from the country. Anyway, I want to talk to you today about ancestral spirits. Now, I don't know if you've ever had the opportunity of dealing with a ghost or a spirit, but they are real. I currently live in a haunted house right now. And that's how the Grow Program actually came about. Because I've been hard-headed my whole entire life. I've been running from God my whole entire life. And God has been chasing me my whole entire life. And God has put me down in a couple quiet places where I listen. Then I came out of those quiet places and went back to kind of doing me a little bit again. And so I ministered on the radio. But I've been plagued with spirits and ghosts all my life. And so this last time in this last house, I call it the house of truth because everything is all that came out is the truth in this house. Whether you want it to come out or not, it's the truth. And it oh man, it deals with so many different issues. It's been a journey over here because you got to be quiet enough to listen to God tell you how to fix your life. And you have to live a life in honor and glory. When we were our ancestors in Africa, they lived honorable lives. They lived a life in honor to their ancestors. And God allowed those ancestors to manifest things in their life. So our ancestors have spiritual powers who were able to manifest, things in our life that we want. So living in this house and dealing with these spirits, you have to be here. You have to be quiet in order to listen. You can't be under the influence. You have to, because see, you already, because I was always scared of ghosts, even though I lived in a haunted house and was plagued by ghosts. And then on top of that, I used to like to watch scary movies. So I had double the trouble. So while I'm dealing with these spirits, I just was always afraid until I got to this house. And then I listened because I stopped drinking. I don't drink. I don't do anything. I live a life in honor and glory. So once I began to transform and change myself, the ancestors showed me how to change my heart, how to begin to forgive, how to begin to release all the grudges and the anger and the hostility that I had held up and bent up inside of me. Being angry at people for over years of things they do to me, things they continue to do. Every time I talk to them on the phone, they try to pull me off in some more mess. So, you have to remove yourself from chaos. You have to take that chaos. That chaos is not going to leave you. You have to leave it. You have to remove that chaos out your life and distance yourself from it because you don't want to be a part of that. And now in the videos, I also talk about, how we bring chaos in our lives. How we, by watching this stuff like Maury Povich, Jerry Springer, and different things like that. That's bring chaos in. That what you manifest, what you speak over your life, that's what's going to be in your life. If you bring that chaos and stuff in your life, that's what's going to be in your life. So you need to remove all that. You're sitting up here watching these soap operas and you're worrying about people who ain't even real. You got your blood pressure up, your anxiety all up, and word and stressing about people who ain't even real. And that's crazy. I once knew a lady who doctor took her off of soap operas because they had got her anxiety so bad. So people, we need to remove this chaos out of our life. We the one causing most of it, And so once we begin to eliminate that, I'm gonna tell you something. Once you start eliminate, people gonna already know you on something different. I can't fool with her no more. We can't deal like how we used to deal. See, she doing something else. I see a light there. So they ain't even gonna reach out and bother you. They gonna leave you alone and let you do you. And then what's gonna happen is your light gonna shine so bright, it's gonna bring them in. Cause they gonna be looking at you like, well, look, she done got everything she wanted. Things going her way. Stuff is going right. Now, what can how can I get in on that? But see, you got to be careful with that because you don't want them to come back bringing more chaos. Because that's misery loves company. So you got to be careful to stay away from chaos. Because chaos will cause the problem back, will get you right back to square one. While I'm trying to fix your heart and your mind, the chaos is going to take you right back, to the mess. So we need to get out of that. Chaos. I can't stand chaos. I don't like chaos. The word says stuff supposed to be decent and in order. So, and that means us. That means our household. That means our children. That means everything that we deal with in life and how we interact with people. You have to forgive. I'm going to tell you something. I'm still learning a whole lot of things. See, because when I went to school, it wasn't no Black history. It was American history. It was social studies. It was biology. It wasn't how what I know now. I wasn't taught that, back in the 80s. And so I'm learning a lot of things as I continue to learn on this journey of what actually happened to my ancestors and the pictures that I see on Google. And the images of the burned bodies is like a reminder. You'll never forget where you came from. So you can pick up a picture of slavery on Google just to remind you. You ain't gonna never forget. We don't want you to forget. It's here. So now, people, what's going on is we 400 years later. And now it's time for us to begin to build wealth for ourselves. We are not going to get any reparations. There are no reparations coming. Look how old you are. If you were born in the 60s, you are the first free African. Born in the 60s. That's when the civil rights movement was passed. That's when all the movement was passed. And then John F. Kennedy was killed, after he did it. So anybody who tried to stand up for African Americans has been killed or shut down. So nobody's going to stand up for us anymore. The last person that really stood up for us really was that outside our race was Lincoln. And he freed the slaves. And they killed him for that. So I'm going to tell you something. Nobody's going to stand up for us but us. So it's time to begin to build wealth, people. It's time to change your mindset and the way you think about yourselves and the way you think about others. You need to let go of hurts, past grudges. Because I'm going to tell you how you get peace and glory and happiness. No matter what somebody else do, don't let them take you there. You on a different mindset. See, the word said you be transformed by renewing of your mind. You are of this world. You're in this world, but you're not of this world. See, you're a legend. You are different. You here for a purpose. It's a reason you here. You're not here just to be going through what you're going through, dealing with all these problems, these issues and stuff. It's some more to it than that. We have a reason and a purpose. It's to carry on this torch. And I showed my grandbaby last night. We sitting up here watching 42. I wanted to see it for so long, and I showed him that this was a king who played in this movie, portraying a king in the movie. And I told my grandbaby that he's a king. He's a future king. So this is how we have to talk to our children. And this is how we have to begin to think about ourselves, people. We have to think different. We have to grow. So I'm going to end this episode here. And I want you to remember, keep in your mind, change your mindset, change your heart, and let's grow.